This is a countertop I built. It's made out of something called wormy maple, and I'm up to 150. So I'm gonna hit. I've done 120, and now I'm gonna hit it with the 150. I also wanted to show you, this countertop's kind of heavy, and I wanted to be able to move it around my garage here, which is a disaster because we're in the middle of this kitchen remodel, so my garage looks like absolute doo-doo. Anyway, these are sawhorses here, just some plastic sawhorses, and then those are old cabinet doors from the original kitchen, and then they are mounted on these furniture movers because I wanted to be able to move this whole thing around so that I can just have some mobility with it, because this countertop's really heavy. So I'm going to switch to 220 grit paper. These are just Diablo sanding discs I get at Home Depot. So I started out with 100, went to 120, 150, and now I'm going to do 220 and sand this for about probably, I don't know, 10 or 15 minutes with the 220. So I sanded with 220. I am going to blow it off this time because I'm going to put my sanding sealer on. And I don't know if you can see that in camera, but a good bit of dust went off this. So a combo of blowing with a rag in your hand and kind of rubbing. Alright, the next step that I'm going to do is to put on a sanding sealer, because this maple ends up finishing kind of blotchy, or it does for me anyway. And I got this this tip from the Wood Whisperers YouTube channel. Really recommend his channel. That guy seems to give great advice. But anyway, he recommended using this shellac, which is just Zinsser Bullseye shellac, and it's a finish and sealer. And you can experiment with what's called the cut, but if you put this on full strength, your stain wouldn't penetrate really at all. But you cut it. I'm going to cut it 1 part shellac and 1 part denatured alcohol. So I'm just going to eyeball this with about a 50-50 cut. So that's going to be my 1 part. I'm going to add a little more, because I don't want to run out in the middle of doing this. Alright. Again, I'm just eyeballing that. I'm going to stir that up. Here we go. This is going to dry quickly because the shellac dries quickly, but also with the alcohol in it, that alcohol is going to flash off very quickly, so it'll be dry in no time. Alright, so we're ready to apply the stain, and my wife Erin is going to do it, but she does not want to be on camera, so I'm going to avoid that. Now I'm going to put a slip coat on before she starts applying the stain. So we're going to put the mineral spirits on like a board at a time. She's going to stain it. So just pouring it into a rag and moistening wood with this mineral spirits. And it just makes it easier to apply the stain. It's not so grabby. This is General Finishes Gel Stain Colonial Maple.
Do you do the edges at the end?
I think you can do them as you go, but you want to do... Now you got to do the whole edge. You can't just do part of the edge, I think. Oh, that looks pretty. Whoops.
What if I ruin it?
That's what sandpaper's for. But you get to do it next time.
Doesn't sound like a very fun job.
Yeah, it was terrible.
Well, I really knew how much you loved me when I drove home from work and saw you with the sander taking everything off.
A little background, we stained this dark because that's what we thought we wanted, and then
Not super dark.
not super dark, and it came out darker than either of us wanted.
Because you couldn't really see the
Like,
character of the wood very well.
that's looking pretty. So this is different than the directions on the can, which says to basically flood this almost with the stain and then wipe off the excess, but through her practicing she liked the subtlety of this technique a little bit better, just by kind of getting a little bit on a cloth and rubbing it in until she likes the look of it. It looks nice. Show me how much is on the rag.
Not very much on the wimp.
Alright, the stain is on. Mama finished her rubbing. I already have the first coat of clear finish on it. And it is this General Finishes High Performance. This is a water-based top coat, and it's in the satin finish. Alright, I've got the top coat on, and then I'm using a sanding pad. These are 240 grit, and it's a little bit of a pad so your hands don't get hot. But you can just use regular 220, 320 grit paper. This just gets a light, very light sanding. You're just knocking down the fuzzies. Shouldn't take too long. That's just knocking down any kind of rough spots in the clear finish. You gotta wait a couple of hours between coats. Good. Oh, hey, how are you?
Good. You're Todd, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna leave this for you.
All right, thanks so much.
No problem. And I'll sit right here.
All right, thanks
Have
a lot.
a good day.
Yeah, all right, be safe.
Thank you.
Oh, that feels so smooth. Love it. So I stored my foam brush in a baggie in between coats because it's a couple of hours, and this foam brush would be toast, which these are $1 a piece, so it's no big deal, but I try not to waste stuff. Ready for coat number 2. And they say to put this on with a foam pad or a foam brush. And I like keeping a wet edge with whatever I'm finishing, so I'm going to start here and do basically get on to the next board a little bit and kind of go in that pattern. The directions say to put this on liberally, and I have found that to be accurate. So don't be stingy with your clear coat. This is what's going to protect your tabletop, your countertop, whatever. And it says not to brush it too much. Don't overwork it. Once it's on, just let it sit. Let it lie. I dip it in this has a chisel front on it. I just barely dip that chisel tip into it and kind of dab it on. Some will sponge out from what you've already done, and then just spread that out. Okay. Doesn't take a ton of it. Alright, this is the countertop installed on the island. And it's actually been in the kitchen for about 6 months, I think. Something along those lines. Really happy with the way that it came out. One thing I would say, I don't know if it's going to show up in this video, but there's like little marks in the clear coat. Just from daily use, like opening cans and things like that. It doesn't bother us, but something to think about with that General Finishes clear coat. It's got 3 coats on it, but it does scratch a little bit just from daily use, but in general, really happy with the way it finished. So if you're doing this project, I hope you like yours too. Bye!